I'm not sure how this is gonna go, but last year was such a doozy, and I just find myself actually looking forward to my birthday again this year. You know, post redacted and everything. I think that's a good sign of me slowly returning to my old self again. Not like old, nothing has changed, but like old, easier to find joy. And I love her that old. I've always wanted to do those number things I've learned at the age of the same number kind of video, and 25 is such a good number. And so I'm writing this on July 6th, which gives me about 2 months to think about those things that I've learned, write them down as a script, and voice over the rest of the lesson, just in time for my birthday. I know I don't strike you as the most well-prepared person ever, but knowing myself and the type of expectation that I have for my birthday, I think the best case scenario should be me doing something as a gift for myself. So here goes. 25 things that I've learned at the age of 25. Number 1, if there are things that you're expecting from others in a sense that it would affect your mood, your way of thinking, your well-being, consider taking back the initiative by doing the thing yourself, even if it's something silly, like writing your own letter, giving yourself gifts or hugs, listening to yourself crying, taking yourself on a date. Just do it. You'll thank yourself for that. Number 2, your feelings are how you feel about things. They are always valid, and you should never be ashamed of how you feel. It's about how you process and work with your emotion after that matters. Number 3, this is a quote. Comparison is a thief of joy, and gratefulness is the best weapon against that thief. If you can look up to people, you can certainly look down too. So maybe you should compare. Number 4, anxiety is forgetting how big the world actually is. If you can zoom into the small issue, you can also zoom out to see the bigger picture. Things are not always as bad as you think they are. Number 5, you cannot help someone who doesn't want to be helped. There's no use in trying to offer something that the other person does not need. Number 6, confidence is not about knowing that you can do something very well. It is believing that even when you are failing at something miserably, you're still going to be fine afterwards. Number 7, never question the good in your life. Just accept it and be grateful. Number 8, if you're in the woods and you see the same thing twice, say a tree, that means you're lost. But then again, you can't really be lost if you don't know where you're going. So you might as well just enjoy the woods. Does that make sense? Number 9, purpose is the reason for which something is done or exists. A reason is a justification for a thing that has happened. We strive for our purpose and look for reasons to not do something. Don't ever let your reason be bigger than your purpose. Number 10, and this is a quote of one of my favorite films. You like because and you love despite. You like someone because some of their qualities, and you love someone despite some of their qualities. 11, when you're giving out advice, it matters that you make sure you're fully understand of the situation and then assessing it. Number 12, on the same vein with number 7, but in another word, if happiness should surprise you again, do not mention its previous betrayal. Enter into the happiness and burst. Oh, that's so pretty. I love that language. 13, if telling the truth somehow paints you out to be the bad person, it's not the truth teller's fault that you are a bad person. It's because that is the truth. 14. Don't assume bad intentions when stupidity can get the job done equally effective. 15. You can only explain so much for a person, but you cannot understand something for them. 16. This is a shout out to Common Cafe. They have the best freaking service ever. Isn't that one ngữ? 17. If you're an unpleasant person, you won't become pleasant when you're in love. Just an unpleasant person in love. So work on yourself constantly because love will not fix you. 18. If you're facing a problem, keep your eyes on the actual problem itself, not the distraction or the consequences. The distractions are just the what ifs. They're not real yet, but they can get you in more trouble. Number 19. People don't care about you as much as you think. You are your biggest critic, and that voice in your head alone is enough to keep you humble. 20. Life is short, but also terribly and insufferably long. There will be time in your life where it feels like both of them at the same time. The best you can do is to spend it with the right people. 21. My favorite quote ever, because this has to do with my job. The only way to learn is by playing. The only way to win is by learning. And the only way to begin is by beginning. 22. If you say something as often enough, you and your surroundings start to believe it. And if you do something as often enough, guess what? You're starting to become it. 23. Dating apps are not for finding connection, but more like hooking ups. And the people who met each other on these apps are simply just lucky. 24. It takes courage to be kind and soft and emotional and authentically you. Being vulnerable is the new badass. And number 25. Always bet on love. I finished this on September 6th, which is exactly 2 months. So I guess that means something. Look, obviously this is not to teach anyone a lesson or anything. Feel free to take up on any advice if you think that is helpful or in some capacity makes sense. But if not, this is just for me as a gift from past me to future me. And we shall see if things change in the next year, but I'm hopeful for what's to come. So in case I don't see you again, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Bye.